the Pixel 7 Pro. And I know people are reading the title of the video and saying, what the heck is this guy talking about? The only alternative when the OnePlus 11 exists and he's done videos on them and he likes it and all the rest of it. Yeah, I get that. I get that. But for a lot of people, because of some legitimate reservations that they have about the OnePlus device, the Pixel 7 Pro is going to be the best, if not the only, viable alternative to the S23 Ultra if they want a relatively compromise-free flagship device. This is it, especially in the United States. You know, you could go, and don't talk to me about the S23 Plus if they want to spend a little bit less. Because A, you're making a lot more compromises than you are with the Pixel 7 Pro, and B, that price is dumb. So if you buy that device, you need a support group of some sort. I'll leave the link to our Discord server in the description. Come join. We will help heal you. But do not pick up an S23 Plus, especially for full price. So let's talk about the reservations that people have with the OnePlus 11 and how the Pixel 7 Pro can help alleviate some of those. Number one is software. And OnePlus totally has to take this L. They totally, the past couple of years, they've given you no reason to believe them over the long term that they're not going to mess up their software at some point. They've made strides with Oxygen OS 13, but it's still not back to it was at Oxygen OS 11, and there's no guarantee that Oxygen OS 14 isn't going to be a disaster. So if you're looking for just overall reliability, and while I have my disagreements with Google about the aesthetic choices and some of the design elements of Material U, you can't argue with its performance. It still is quite nice. It's clean. It works well. It's optimized well with the hardware that Pixel has in there. The other big thing that people talk about is wireless charge. I really underestimated the amount that wireless charge plays into people's lives. I found it to be annoying. Every once in a while I'd use it. It was cool at the beginning, but now I'm kind of over it. I go with wired charging. But people have these things all over their homes and offices and cars specifically to clamp it in and get charge in there. And if that's something for you, then this is what you pick back up on the Pixel 7 Pro that you lose on the OnePlus 11. But let's talk about why the Pixel 7 Pro is still a worthy, if not the best, alternative for the S23 Ultra. Number one is that software that we talked about. I've made my peace with it. A lot of people like it. In fact, they think it's better than a lot of the things that they were doing in Android 10 and Android 11. That's fine. The one thing you can't deny is how well it works, but also the fact that it is clean. When you go to the settings menu, this is nice, okay? Nice big lettering. You're going to get to where you need to be. It's relatively intuitive. So you're really not going to have any issues there. Plus, you get those little tasty AI things that they drop in there, whether it's the magic eraser, whether it's the call features, whether it's now playing, whether it's all those little Pixel extras that they filter in, the intangibles of the Pixel experience, which I happen to like quite a bit. The update stuff, like the update delay with the Pixel 7 Pro now, I don't mind update delays that much anymore because there's nothing really broken with the Pixel 7 Pro like there was with the Pixel 6. That kind of bugged me. But at the same time, when Samsung's really catching up with their One UI, and you've championed yourselves as, oh, that first Monday you're going to get your Pixel update and all the rest of it, you can't then fall off with that. So I'd really like to see them get back on track and offering those updates on time. The cool thing about your Pixel device, though, and it's something that other manufacturers really don't do, is that with feature drops, it feels like you're getting extra to your phone later on. Stuff you could look forward to that they add, like the astrophotography years ago, like the call features, like the magic eraser and stuff like that, camouflage. Things that you could look forward to later on that feel like full-on capabilities of a device where, yeah, One UI has a couple things that they add here and there, but they feel like just iterative things. They don't feel like major changes, while Pixel can give you stuff that you could use in your daily life. And the camera's going to be the camera. If you're getting a flagship device for the camera, then you're going to be more than fine, especially saving the money with your Pixel 7 Pro. And last year, I didn't feel like it was a good idea to spend the extra $300 for the 5X optical lens. I think that it's convenient. It's convenient. It adds to some really good photos. And as long as you're not paying too much more, and at this point with the sales and the Pixel stuff that they do, I think you can get this for a reasonable price, and it is worth it to pick that up. And that's not the only thing that you pick up. Because if you're looking for a compromise-free flagship experience, well, then you get also that 2K display, 120 hertz refresh rate. It's not the brightest panel in the world, that's for sure. It's not the most color saturated panel in the world, but it's still good. You know, I knock this panel, but I knock it in comparison to other flagships and more expensive devices. So keep that in mind. This is still a really nice, sharp panel with decent color. I just wish it weren't as dull and it would have some things in there that add a little pop, little life to the thing. That's really what Face unlock is good, snappy, right on par with, maybe a touch slower than the OnePlus device, but still really, really good. And the ecosystem. You know, Google finally learned that the ecosystem is important. They looked at what Apple did with the iWatch. They look the Apple iWatch. They look what Apple did with the Apple Watch. They look at what Samsung did with the Galaxy Watch and the Bud. So they released the Pixel, but then they released the Pixel Watch, and they're trying to. And the Pixel Watch has a long way to go to be anywhere near in the same ballpark as the Apple Watch or the Galaxy Watch. I get that, but they are on their way. They at least acknowledge that's a thing, and you get nice integration there with your your Pixel experience. The UI is nice and clean with it. You get the watch stuff right there. I'll tell you what, the ecosystem wise, then you get the widgets and stuff that tell you what you need to do. I'll tell you, they've got potential there to have at least a rivaled ecosystem with the other big boys. I really do believe that. I think their software integration is on the right track there. I feel like the Pixel Watch is on the right track. It needs some stuff. It needs a price cut. It needs a little haircut there in terms of price. But if you add a few features to it, you bulk up that battery life, you get a couple different size options in there, I think you're in for a winner. And it works well with the Pixel 7 Pro. Good connectivity and all the rest of it. So as long as they don't bungle software, as long as they don't really mess up a whole lot going forward, even though it can be a somewhat boring design, it's still flagship, but it's kind of like when you look at it. Overall, if you're looking to spend less money, then you'd have to spend on an S23 Ultra, but you want a lot of the features, and you have reservations, legitimate or otherwise, about picking up a OnePlus 11, this fills in a lot of the gaps that you were worried about when it came to your OnePlus 11 making that decision. It fills in those gaps. You don't have to worry about, there's hiccups here and there with software. You, for the most part, aren't going to have to worry about, if we have to worry about Google at the end of the day with software, even if they're late, even if they do screw up a thing here and there, then the Android in overall is in trouble. So I think you're overall going to get the support that you're promised here. That was a major question mark for a lot of people. I think they have a big upside as far as locking in the battery life for this device. It's not great right now. It's not on par with the others. It's about 6.5 hours of screen on time, which is still good for a lot of people. And I think based on what they did last year with the Pixel 6, how much they were able to increase that battery life after the fact, I think they got a lot of room to run here once they lock in the optimizations with the hardware, with Tensor 2. I think you're going to see a massive jump in battery life, at least another hour of screen on time over the course of the year of updates. So, while it's not the only alternative, I think it is for a lot of people. When you look at what their question marks are, what the feature set that they need, especially here in the United States, if you're looking for that specific set, then this is the phone that you're going to want to be picking up. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.